Okay, we're going to work on what is commonly referred to as the F word of mathematics, and that is factoring. So, what we want to do is we need to have this whole thing equal to 0. Okay? So we're going to set it equal to 0. It doesn't matter what side we put it on. We put it on the left, put it on the right. We can put it onto either side. Students like to move it to the left typically, so I'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to subtract 3x. And of course my pencil breaks. So we've got 12x squared minus 34x equals negative 24. Go ahead and add 24 to both sides. Okay, now if you notice here, we've got some really large numbers that we're trying to deal with. And when we're factoring, dealing with those large numbers is not an easy task. So we can use the magic of math here to help us along. When we have an equation, whatever we do to one side of the equation, as long as we do the exact same thing to the other side, it's fine. It's perfectly okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to see if these three values have any numbers in common. And the one that pops out is 2. They all have the number 2 in common. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're just going to divide both sides of the equation by 2. Okay? And when we divide by 2, each piece gets divided by 2 here. So what's 12 divided by 2? We get our 6x squared minus 17x plus 12, and 0 divided by 2 is just 0. So that works out really well for us. Okay, so now what we can do is we need to factor this thing. And I like to use the box method, which I've described in other videos. Now, typically, though, I will tell you that this is not something that we're going to be factoring on a normal basis. And the reason for that is when we have a number in front of the x squared, we're going to use other methods, but it's really good practice to be able to do this. So I create the box. Okay. In this box, we take the term with the x squared, so we put the 6x squared. Okay. In this box, we put the number that's by itself, and the sum of the center is going to be negative 17x. Okay. So it takes some experimentation and some playing around by using the box method here and making this work right. But if we take a 2x and 3x here, because 2x times 3x, well, 2 times 3 is 6, x times x is x squared. Okay. The next piece of the pieces of the factored form, when we multiply these two numbers that we have here together, we better get a 12. Okay, but when we add them, well, we've got these extra little pieces that are going to alter them a little bit, but we need to end up with this negative 17x. But 12 here is the key. So there's only some values that work, right? I mean, we could take 2 times 6, that would be 12. Okay. Or we could take negative 2 times negative 6, that's also 12. We could take 12 times 1, that would be 12. Negative 12 times negative 1, that would be 12. Or 3 times 4, that would be 12. Negative 3 times negative 4. Okay? So any of these combinations of numbers are the ones that we're going to be the ones that are going to work. And we just have to play with them to see if they work. Okay, let's start from the bottom here, and let's use the -3 and -4. So if I put a -3 here and a -4, and the reason I'm starting with the negatives is because I know this is a -17, so the negative ones are probably what I'm looking for. So we go -3 times 2x is -6x. 3x times -4, -12x, and -6 times or plus -12 is not -18. So that particular combination isn't going to work. So what I have to do is I have to try it in reverse before I move on to the next pair. Okay, -4, -3. So -4 times 2x is -8x. -3 times 3x is -9x. And there we go. -8x plus -9x is -17x. So there is our factored form. So it would be 3x minus 4 times 2x minus 3 equaling 0. Okay? Now I'm supposed to solve this, right? So to solve this, a times b equals 0, then a equals 0 or b equals 0, right? So we take this piece, which we're calling the a. So we go 3, and once again breaking, x minus 4 equaling 0. Okay. We solve for x. We add 4 to both sides. So 3x equals 4. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. X equals 4/3. Or we take 2x minus 3, set that equal to 0. Add 3. 2x equals 3. Divide by 2. And x equals 3/2. So those are our two possible answers.